and welcome back to Rumor Has It Official. Let's get straight into talking all about 90 Day Fiance, Happily Ever After. This is season 6, episode 11, and the title of this episode is Man Up or Shut Up. In this video, we're going to be talking all about Andrei and Elizabeth. But before we get started, my besties, do me a big favor and give this video a big thumbs up, share, subscribe, plus hit that bell so you will be notified on future uploads. I'm excited to be back. It has been a while. We had that little break in between because, of course, 90 Day Fiance did not come on. So let's go ahead and get into this recap here. I have my handy dandy phone. I am going to read from my notes so that I can stay focused on the topics that I want to discuss about these two here. You tell me, how is Andrei supposed to be driving this RV, but the whole time while he's supposed to be driving, he is looking in the back at what Elizabeth and the baby are doing, because you can hear their baby Ellie screaming in the back. So he's like, what's going on? What's happening? It's like, aren't you supposed to be keeping your eyes on the road? Anyways, Elizabeth says what happened with their daughter was rough, and she can still sense that there's some tension in the air between her and Andrei, and plus between Andrei and her siblings. So Libby books another Airbnb, but this time they are in DC. She didn't factor in parking for the RV though. Okay, so they're driving down this street trying to find parking. Everybody's yelling at one another. They're yelling at Andrei mostly and telling him to hurry up and park, and the kids are tired, and he's like, I can't park this RV on this street like that. Like, this is an accident waiting to happen. It's just not safe for me to park the RV right here. And he's like, why would you pick a place where there's no parking for the RV? And Elizabeth was just like, that was one of the first things I said to the man. Would there be space for our RV? And, I spent all this time, finding this nice place. It was just like all of that going back and forth. It was really annoying. Everybody, like I said, was yelling in the RV while he was trying to find a park. By this time, Andrei and his brother-in-law, which is Rebecca's husband, they basically become best friends in this RV. Rebecca's husband takes over the situation and decides to book a hotel for everybody so that they can have parking for that RV. So basically, Elizabeth has to cancel the Airbnb that she booked, and they end up going to a hotel, which was, I think, in like an hour away. So they had to drive an extra hour just so that they can park this RV. Now, like I said, everyone is trying to dictate and tell him what to do as far as the parking. And Andrei says that he's frustrated that Libby booked the Airbnb and did not pay attention to parking accommodations for the RV. So Jen is the main one flapping her gums. Main one. Now, Elizabeth is like, it's frustrating when he blames her for everything, and he doesn't see all the hard work that she put in and the effort that she put in to book that Airbnb. So one thing I have to say is I'm so over Andrei and his mouth in front of these kids. But let me be fair, it is not just Andrei. Jen and Rebecca can have a foul mouth in front of the kids, and it's like, do you all have to be like cursing and swearing in front of the kids? I just believe that as a grown-up, you do whatever you want to do, but don't subject your kids to hearing that. Like, keep it clean. Just keep it clean and right in front of the kids. Is that so hard? Comment down below your thoughts. Andrei's ranting and fussing and complaining was really irritating me too. I think everybody pretty much on the bus was irritating me. Now, Jen, once they get to this hotel, she decides while they're trying to load things off, instead of taking her tail to her room, because she claims everybody's tired, all the kids are tired, and her worrying about her two kids that were also on the RV on this trip, she decides she wants to go and pick a fight with Andrei. Now, she's trying to pick a fight once matters have already been resolved. They've already found a place to stay. The whole time I was just thinking, like, Jen, shut up. Just shut up and go to your room. Just shut up. Now, surprisingly, Rebecca's husband, like I said, had Andrei's back when everyone was complaining, fussing, and blaming Andrei. I will say, as much as I don't care for Andrei, you do have to give him some credit, because he did drive them there. He did all of the driving. Nobody helped him. Plus, he was loading luggage onto the RV and off of the RV for them. So, like, okay, I can give him his credit on that. And I think that is a very, tough drive on the body and then, like I said, also because he was the only one driving. So I feel like, everybody and all the complaining who just got to sit on their butts, it was too much. I would have been very irritated too. So the next day, Jen wakes up negative and wanted to complain about what happened the night before again. She still wants to talk about it. And I'm just like, girl, shut up. It's a new day. Like, you should have slept that off. It's a new day, girl. Shut up. Now I'm starting to really think that, at this point, Jen likes to be negative. She likes negativity and just wants to argue or start an argument with Andrei. So they get back to the road and head to Chuck's sister's house. So since Charlie and his wife arrived before the rest of the family, in my head, I was thinking, without a doubt, I'm sure he ran everything down to his aunt and his grandfather, without a doubt. And I was right, because when the aunt greeted Andrei, she said, "I heard a lot about you." And I think Andrei said something along the lines like, "Oh, I hope it was good," or "I wonder if it's good." And she was just kind of like, like that towards him. So, based off of what Charlie has told her, she's already formed an opinion without her kind of meeting him and kind of getting to know him herself. Whatever Charlie told her has really rubbed her the wrong way. Now, the aunt shortly after talks with the camera crew alone and says that this is her first time meeting Andrei, and she has some reservations because her brother paid for their Moldovan wedding. She adds on that, she feels like Andrei sees her brother as a bank, basically, and he can tap into those resources. She says that she doesn't know how she truly feels about him yet. So Andrei, on the other hand, says that he's real excited to meet Libby's extended family in Maryland. He goes on to say that he's excited because he's trying to figure out where Charlie's stupidity comes from. Chuck's side or Elizabeth's mom's side? How disrespectful can you get? And Elizabeth sits there and laughs it off and shakes her head like that's okay. Like, really? Are you freaking kidding me? Comment down below your thoughts on that. Now, the subject comes up about Andrei wanting a loan from Chuck, which I knew it was a matter of time before it did. Chuck's sister and father chime in saying that you don't go to someone wanting money. You have to bring a contribution as well. Chuck's sister says that Andrei isn't bringing anything to the table, just debt to her brother. Andrei and Charlie get into it. They go back and forth, getting into it again in front of Chuck's sister and father. And I'm convinced that this won't be their last fight. I feel as though a serious fight between these two, it's brewing. It's in the making, okay? I think at this point, you don't want to, condone violence, but I think, they need to just go ahead and just fight. Just fight, get it over with, hash it so we can be done with this, because it's I want to know your thoughts. Do you think that in this fight, Andrei will whoop Charlie's behind, or Charlie will whoop Andrei's? I really feel like because of how aggressive Andrei can be, I think for sure he will whoop Charlie's behind. I really do. I think he will put some hands on him. And so I just, like I said, I feel like it's bound to happen. At some point, these two are going to fight. And I think it needs to happen so we can be done with this. They can get all of that frustration out and be over and done with it. So I'm very curious to know what you all thought about 90 Day Fiance Happily Ever After. This is season 6, episode 11. The title of this episode is Man Up or Shut Up. We talked all about Andrei and Elizabeth in this video, and I hope that you all enjoyed this recap. Let me know by giving this video a big thumbs up, share, subscribe, plus hit that bell so you will be notified on future uploads coming out this week. And as always, my besties, I hope you have a wonderful week, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.